Unscripted.
You know, it's funny when this kind of stuff comes up, the way that people react to things like that. And the reason why it's funny with the reaction that I get from like Xbox fans and stuff like that is, for years now, I've kind of warned people that Microsoft and Phil Spencer in particular really tend to do things in such a way that maybe a third-party company would do. And what I mean by that is they realistically almost act like a third-party studio. I always said, or third-party publisher, I always said Phil Spencer would probably make a better head of like Activision or Ubisoft or EA, because he really kind of has that mentality to put everything on everything. And I think that really makes much more sense for like a third-party company. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense for a company that's trying to sell, you know, boxes and things like that. And the fact of the matter is that they've really very much kind of opened the door for a lot of different things like this. And what I mean by that is Phil Spencer has said numerous times, in fact, that, you know, exclusive games are very counterproductive and counterintuitive of what gaming is all about. And then he's very kind of non-committal when it comes to certain things. Last year, early in the year, he said, well, we want to set an expectation for our fans that, you know, games that come out on Xbox aren't going to release on Switch down the road or whatever. And then, you know, 5 months later, Ori 2, which was an Xbox exclusive, released on Switch. So, you know, you definitely know you can't trust the guy. And then when it comes to this, this latest bit of news, it looks like this could be something where, this could be something that's very interesting, and we could see something come about where Halo Master Chief Collection could potentially be on very much competing platforms, which really wouldn't really come as much of a surprise to me. Now, there's different ways to kind of look at this. I know some people would probably look at this and go, well, you know, this is one of those things where, we're not really sure what to make of it, or, you know, we're not real sure like what Microsoft is going to do, or, you know, like this is just something that really kind of comes up, and when you sort of see how this comes out, like people might like kind of react differently to it. So I do find that to be a little bit interesting. And then when you see like some of the negative reactions from Xbox fanboys, they're like, well, it couldn't possibly be. It's like, they say that the exclusives don't matter, like for the longest time, right? This is what they say. Oh, exclusives don't matter. Exclusives don't matter. And then when it's a possibility of losing something as big as Halo, then everybody's up in arms. And I find that to be kind of hilarious. But I did want to get into this before it gets too much later. What's up, everybody? Crapgamer here with Crapgamer Reviews, back with another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. I really do appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that as well. It helps out the channel immensely, and it means a lot to me personally. If you're looking for a way to help out my crappy little channel, that's the best way to do it, and it's free for you guys to do. You know, YouTube doesn't send out a lot of notifications for me these days, so if you wouldn't mind doing so, I think that would be great. I would appreciate it. And also, you know, shout out to all the old subscribers, new subscribers, and everybody in between. You know, I kind of keep things busy, and I got some interesting things coming down the pipe, so it would be great to, you know, kind of get some feedback from you guys and stuff like that. Like I said, it means the world. So anyway, 343 teases Halo the Master Chief Collection coming to new platforms. In 343 Industries' latest update, developer of Halo the Master Chief Collection teased that a new place to play the collection is going to be coming. So in November 14th, 343's Industry released the Ultimate Collection for fans of the Halo series that included every Halo title released up until Halo 5. This was more than a case of nostalgia. It was an opportunity for new players of the acclaimed franchise to experience each game in its original form, or with graphical improvements implemented for Xbox players. However, the Halo the Master Chief Collection might be getting an additional home soon. The compendium of Halo games struggled early on in its life cycle, as player versus player in the game simply didn't work as intended. In fact, 343 actually gave away free copies of ODST as sort of a makeup for having a completely disastrous launch of the Halo Master Chief Collection, which, you know, again, the achievements didn't even work right for me when I got that game, and really kind of put me off of it a little bit. But I mean, Halo games are pretty timeless anyway. You know, when you look down to it, like 343's Industries added more updates. Really, it kind of they left it kind of dead though up until the Xbox One X was coming out, and then because they literally didn't have anything else to really kind of push, they went back and kind of remastered and redid those games in like 4K and things like that, made them better and things. So again, they really left that game kind of DOA for many years, and in my opinion, you couldn't find a game in there. At least I couldn't for a very long time. More bugs followed suit. Bungie was working working on new IP Destiny at the time, so it was up to Washington-based developer to get the game on the right track. Several updates and a PC launch later, Halo the Master Chief Collection is looking much better and soon could be playable in a new environment. The most recent update on 343's blog addressed multiple pieces of news, including plans for Black History Month that involve a new nameplate. Further below, a discussion of its current ban ladder. 343 mentions that if all things go well, it could share a new way to play Halo the Master Chief Collection, as well as a new place to play and enjoy the game. Now, nothing else was really shared regarding the major tease by the developer. The additional details regarding FOV sliders, new key bindings, and more ways to customize controls were also announced, so all eyes obviously on the new console were directed to having a potential new place to play Halo. The good news for fans is that 343's Industries is good about delivering updates to the community. So this could be looked at as a few different ways. Since the developers were so vague, having a new way to play Halo the Master Chief Collection is a debate in and of itself, as it's already in Xbox Game Pass, Steam, and in physical copy in stores. Some are wondering if there's a chance it could be coming to a new store, such as Epic Game Store, with Halo Infinite nearing its release. It could be best for business. The Halo community should have information in the coming weeks, hopefully, as Halo Infinite is already receiving updates on its original development cycle, while the community awaits confirmation about what 343's Industries' huge hint could mean. Players should pay attention to the upcoming weekly blogs to find out more. So a lot of people are very much assuming that this means that the game could come to, the Epic Store. Some people are saying Mac OS. Some people are saying possibly Nintendo Switch, and some people are saying even PlayStation platforms. Now, you might think, that's a bit of a stretch. But again, this wouldn't be like the first time that happens, and it's just one of those things where we keep seeing something like this could definitely happen. And again, what's really funny is there was actually some kind of proof that Master Chief Collection was considered for PS4, obviously because Microsoft is becoming more platform agnostic with its software and services now exploring devices outside of the Xbox ecosystem. So the thought of Halo coming to the PS4 is not as wild as it once was. Although, and I will link this as well, speaking on an episode of Sacred Symbols podcast, however, ex-IGN editor Colin Moriarty reckons that the port of the Master Chief Collection was at one point being considered for Sony's system. This is what he had to say back then. He says, "I have it on good authority that the Master Chief Collection was being talked about on PS4 years ago," he said in the episode, and this links it as well. He says, I have that on great authority. Halo's franchise director Frank O'Connor has since weighed in on the rumor, stating that he's not aware of the details of conversations between the platforms at a corporate level, but the distance between plans and some what if, for instance, conversation is a meaningful gulf. He also said, "We had plenty of these over the years, but not one of line of code was ever glanced at." So it looks like there is some truth to the rumor, but it never really got much further than the consideration stages, probably because Microsoft wants this to be added as Xbox Live or whatever, and I'm not sure that that's something that Sony would want to do. They wouldn't want the whole Xbox Live experience or whatever, but you already have to sign in to Xbox Live if you want to play stuff like Minecraft on PSN. So I could see something like that happening. I think it's an outside chance. If you ask me what the chance of it coming to PlayStation, I'd say probably pretty slim, but I do think that it's funny the reactions that a lot of people are having when it comes to this. There's just a lot of people freaking out and kind of, oh my gosh, if it does go to PlayStation, I'm going to have some stern word for Microsoft. Listen, if it doesn't come to PlayStation, it still looks like it's coming to some other places. I wouldn't put it past being a Switch port, to be honest with you. The Switch is more powerful than the Xbox 360, so you could definitely run those games on Switch, and could bring people into there as well, so maybe get some new players or whatever. But even if it comes to Mac OS and maybe Switch or Epic Store, at some point this game is becoming more and more, and these games are becoming more and more unexclusive, as they, even regardless of them not being on PlayStation, right? So the real thing is they're basically going to be on everything but PlayStation, and they're literally not exclusive. They're the most unexclusive thing I've ever seen in my life, and people are still kind of talking about this stuff. But yeah, I did find this to be incredibly fascinating, and I would love your guys' thoughts and opinions. I will, of course, link both of these articles in the description. I'm not saying for sure that it's going to happen on PlayStation. I'm just saying it's very interesting, and it wouldn't surprise me, as it doesn't really take it as something that Phil Spencer wouldn't do. You know, I do think Phil Spencer would definitely do something like that, and you know, and I don't think fans would have a say one way or the other, because Phil's not that guy to really pay attention. A lot of the stuff that he does in guise of being fan friendly is really just stuff that's Microsoft money making friendly, and he disguises it that way. So very much interesting things, and I would love your guys' thoughts and opinions on this. Please let me know what you guys think in the long run. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. I hope you all stay safe and very happy and healthy. Thank you so much for rocking out with me. Have a fantastic night. Rack 'em up. Game on, my friends. Game on. Crapgamer out.
Unscripted.